What's up guys, it is MurderInc here. Today we're going to be talking about a question that I think about a lot. I really want to know what you guys think because I've gotten such a wide spectrum of answers from this question and I'm just generally curious as a content creator. The question is, why do we play Raid Shadow Legends? I'm not asking this to put the game down by any means. If you've watched this channel, you know I don't really care about trash talking or any of this thing. This game's part of my living, so obviously I do that. I don't really let that affect the content I do put out here for you guys. I do what I want. I don't really care about what gets the highest views. I want to make sure my stuff's accurate, but I also want to hear from you guys because honestly, I can't do what I do if you guys aren't there. That's kind of obvious and makes sense. What I want to figure out is, why do we play this game? Is it the dopamine rush from summoning shards? Is it because we all have this inner gambling addict inside of us screaming to get out and we can kind of cope with this copium to this mobile game here? They definitely make a lot of money doing it, so there's a huge draw. They have that aspect nailed, but outside of that, I also want to know what parts of the game specifically draw people to play it. Now, going to the game from here, the main question is going to be, is it because of the pop-ups? You see a pack here, you see probably things most people don't think about when playing this game. When you see something in front of you that you can purchase with money, whether you have money, usually if you have money, it's an easier choice to make, but you think about what money is worth to you and you see something in front of you, 12 energy refills, 1800 energy, 900 gem, 900,000 silver, and you say, this can be a benefit for me. I can spend money that I'm willing to spend and get an instant upgrade into this game. Obviously, everything is RNG. They're very smart like that. One thing to notice is, I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed this, but every single pack they sell, if you opened all of the energy, all of the gems, silver doesn't really matter because it's so unique, but the amount of things you can do never fully depletes what you buy. Now, what does that mean? Let's take a really basic example and let's scale this pack all the way down to, let's say you buy something for 1 cent, so literally a penny, and it gives you, I don't know, 17 energy. You're in the end game. How much energy does it cost to run a stage 25 dungeon? 20 energy. So you can't do anything. A better example of that would be them giving you 27 energy for a penny. I definitely should have used that in the first place. And then it costs you 20 energy to use it. Now you have 7 leftover energy, and it gives you this incentive, whether you mentally think about it or not, to buy something else. You're saying, okay, well, I have these spare resources. I'm so close to doing something else in this game, but I'm a little bit short based on what the pack gave me. This is why plarium is brilliant. I've noticed this for such a long time. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but it's always really fascinated me into the kind of psychology and mentality of how a marketing department works that's really good at what they do. So now that we determined that the reason why you play isn't for the packs and the pop-ups, because I think we can all agree that people don't really enjoy the pop-ups. It would be nice to just be able to go to this side tab here, and it's not even where it is. I'm free to play, so I wouldn't know this, but limited offers. It would be much better to just go here and say, okay, these are my options today. What can I buy? Get that dopamine running in your system, saying, oh, I can buy legendary gear. Never do that, by the way. I can buy this monthly pack with those shiny sacred shards, the shiny void shards, all of this good stuff. So with this aside, I'm actually curious. Elite sacred pack. No, I will not. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Some of these packs are, like I've said before, kind of seductive. You do want to buy them. They look really good. But my question is, what part of this game drives you to keep playing every single day? I made a video a long time ago and I said it's the aesthetics, so it has nothing to do with the gameplay. The game looks great for a lot of people. The amount of detail they put into these champions, just scrolling through there, they look amazing. Not many games can compete with this. Raid makes enough money to pull this off, to be able to put this much detail into the champions. Yes, people can say they reuse a lot of skins. They probably should. I doubt it's cheap to 3D model, get things with this high amount of detail on these champions here. So that's definitely a big draw, and I think it's one of the main large draws to the game because this is a gacha game. It's not crazy different from too many other gacha games. It does have its unique aspects, but I really do think that the kind of cherry on top is the aesthetics and how the champions look here. You can let me know if you completely disagree with that, but outside of that factor, what part of this game felt the best for you? For me personally, and this might shock a lot of people, I really enjoyed the campaign. When I first started this game, I was all about the campaign, playing through it, getting to see all of the champions, being a new player, having no idea how any of this worked at all, just no idea. Getting to experience all of the different parts of the game. This is also my first mobile game, so maybe that's why I think that way. Maybe some of you won't, who have played things like Summoner's War in the past, but for me it was campaign. You also got that instant gratification of getting upgrades from gear instantly. You didn't have to farm Dragon 20 a billion times for one upgrade, then have it upgrade with silver, and it ended up not even being a good piece. You got these milestone rewards in the bottom. You got the rewards you get from completing the stages for the first time, which wasn't around when I started playing, but it definitely was a good addition to the game. And things did get quite difficult once Nightmare Campaign came out. That was actually hard content when it first came out. Obviously through time you figured out how to cheese it, how to get better, but that's kind of my view on it. You kind of get my story on what I enjoyed of the game most. With that aside, since it was kind of a one-time thing, I'm not sitting here going through the campaign of my characters again because it's not unique. If it changed based on character, if it changed, I probably still wouldn't do it. What am I talking about? But that's besides the point. So for me, that was the major large grab to the game that really got me involved into the game, seeing all the cool different champions, the abilities they used. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, tracking viewers, what they like, what videos do well on the entire platform, not just my videos, I do believe Clan Boss is one of the most popular parts of this entire game. That's just my opinion. You can let me know if you agree, disagree. I think for longtime players, it's not the case anymore. And the perfect example is what you see on the screen here. Everyone's using the same exact team. It's almost like cringe to see and unfortunate, but it is what it is. Team's really easy. You start the battle, you hit auto, it just runs, it gets you the max chests, and it should be one key. I'm not sure why there's two keys up here, but there's a lot to Clan Boss. It's really fun not building an unkillable team. It's a lot more fun if you're a newer player, kind of building up to it, getting your defense right, your HP right, testing out new champions. It feels good to automatically apply these champions and see direct results from the game, and I do think Clan Boss has that appeal to players. Now the Doom Tower, this I'm not sure about, so I'm going to need your feedback with the Doom Tower. How do you guys feel about it? I am biased because I have access to the test server, which ruined everything for me. The fact that I get to go into the test server, test out the new waves, the new bosses before everybody else, makes it not as good when it comes to global launch. So by the time all of the players get to do this, I've already figured out the best teams, and I almost feel bad, which is kind of why I wait a couple days before I release any guides for the new bosses. Even though people are always going to want the easy way out of things, I try to come up with, yes, gear intensive, legendary specific, but like cool teams that are fun to watch and give you the basic mechanics of it. I did do this actually for the first time when I did go over the Griffin boss and the Eternal Dragon boss. I showed him my OP team and how to beat them, but I explained the mechanics of it and I gave you the types of champions you need to kill these bosses. I didn't give you any specific teams because no team of 5 champions will ever apply to more than, I don't know, 1,000 viewers. And when you're getting tens of thousands of views per video for a guide, that's not helping literally 9/10 of your viewer base. So I did try that out for the first time. People seem to like that. I'm probably going to do that again in the future, kind of just show what I did first. I have these really fast runs. I think my first Doom Tower hard clear of the Griffin was like 1 minute and 8 seconds. I'm not sure what it's at now. Actually, I think it was under a minute, like 52 seconds or something. No one, maybe like, I don't know, 20 people that watch my videos, most of them being in my clan, would be able to replicate that instantly on day one. But that was fun for me to make, so it took out all of that joy. When it did finally release, we had to wait a couple weeks to reach those higher stages of the Frost Spider version of the Doom Tower and fight these bosses again. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Doom Tower. As a newer player who doesn't have access to the test server, let me know what you guys think. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Because I cannot really comment on that because the test server takes a lot of that away from me. Moving into Arena, I do like Arena. Unfortunately for me, I'm also biased because The competitive part of Arena is Platinum Reset, and it's at 3 or 4 a.m. based on daylight savings for me in my current time zone, and that is not optimal for pretty much anybody unless you're working graveyard shift. So I really enjoy that part of the game. It's extremely competitive if I can stay awake for that. I do have a schedule to maintain kind of for content creating, so I can never let that interfere with my work. If my content was based around Platinum Reset, I would definitely focus a lot more on making sure I'm always awake during that time, but I have a real life too. Sunlight, all of these things are important, even though outside can be scary. But that's my overall view on the Arena. I do think it's cool testing out new champions in the Arena. With the current state of bots, there's nothing fun about Gold 4. It's kind of just an AFK boring grind fest. You can test new champions, but you'll never really get paired with someone that's an equal match for you. You kind of just one-shot them with anybody. You can think of the worst champion ever, put good gear on them, and they will just one-shot someone if you have defense down. Tag Arena is a little bit different. There's not a huge push to that unless you're doing clan versus clan, and when you are doing clan versus clan, you're just fighting one-man teams. So I think Arena, as far as improvement goes down the line, but as a newer player, this is something I would want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the Arena as you're going up from bronze to silver? Most newer players don't have a ton of knowledge. They definitely have nowhere near the knowledge I would have as an experienced player who's played for years in this game. So it's definitely going to be a lot different for you guys when you first step into the Arena. Maybe it has some appeal to you, maybe it doesn't. Real time and live Arena would be much better, and I can definitely see the draw to that. We don't have that here, so that's why I don't think Arena is anywhere close to Clan Boss for newer players. Faction Wars is interesting. It does make you have to focus on a specific faction when fighting, so I do like that take there. However, the game is expensive. We all know it. Masteries, 6-starring, skill books, come on. And that alone makes Faction Wars extremely expensive and take a very long time. Now, one cool thing would be if when you went into Faction Wars, it didn't matter what champions you had. The game unlocked every single champion in the game. It gave you preset gear, preset stats, and it said, go. Just go, figure out the best teams, figure out the best combinations, use your skill as a player to beat this. Make it require some RNG so you can't just one-shot everything when you figure out the god comp for the faction. I think that would have been pretty cool in my opinion. Have something where if a champion dies, you can no longer use them again. Make it so each and every single day, or have some type of rotation where you always have to start from stage 1 and go all the way through stage 21 to get all of those rewards. Now that's a good idea. That kind of came out as I was talking here, but I think that would make Faction Wars really cool and a much bigger drive in this game. Now the Forge was a great addition to this game. That definitely increased the value of Faction Wars a lot based on the rewards, but I don't think a lot of players think about rewards when you're looking for enjoyment in this game. Yes, you want to get better, but I don't know, that's just my personal view. You can let me know if you disagree. The final thing we're going to talk about is dungeons here. Now dungeons, 50-50. I think based on the current drop rates of stage 21 through stage 25, dungeons aren't as big as they used to be. I do think dungeons are fun when you're progressing higher, as I don't want to keep saying an early game player, but someone who hasn't completed all content, I do think progression is fun in dungeons. Only problem is some dungeons like Spider, Fire Knight are rather champion specific, so if you don't have the champion, you almost feel helpless, and you never want to feel helpless in a game, which in my opinion takes a lot of away from the fun factor of that dungeon. Now if you're spending money, you're probably having a blast. Even though your gear is probably terrible, it is fun to spend money, summon a bunch of shards, which we're going to talk about next, and kind of get through the content using any means you do have to do that quickly. And as we just mentioned, the next thing we want to talk about is going to be shards. Dopamine, we all know about it. It feels good to pull shards, and it feels terrible when you pull shards and you don't get things. So this is like a benefit, blessing, and a curse type situation. Yes, it feels good to pull shards. If you're spending money on shards and you get terrible things, you're not going to have a good time. It's probably going to ruin the rest of your day. It's unfortunate. This is just a game. It's supposed to be fun. This is that higher level of gambling aspect added to the game. For me personally, I haven't been spending for a while now because I pretty much have everything I need, so I never got that from the start. I kind of just pulled knowing this is gambling. I don't gamble in real life, I think it's kind of stupid, but this is a game and it does have the game aspect to it. This is just kind of a side thing where they make all of their money off of. I was okay to invest in that because eventually, like I said, this is my living, so I can kind of apply this and make that money back and keep cycling through, so on and so forth. But it is unfortunate if I'm streaming on Twitch or something, I'm pulling for somebody who just spent, I don't know, $300 on void shards and they pull legendary that they already had. There is no dupe system. There is going to be a dupe system, so maybe my overall view on pulling shards is going to change down the line. Assuming they do things well with the dupe system, there's going to be some spicy new things coming in the next week or two that I think you guys will enjoy, so definitely stay tuned and keep in touch with the channel for sure. That's how I feel about that. Fusions, don't really want to talk about them. They're a chore. They can be done. It does give you access to a free champion. You have to spend sometimes to get it if you're not smart and plan ahead, but I don't want to talk about that too much because that's not considered gameplay in my opinion. And I do think shards do fall into that. Clan versus clan tournaments, same thing. Events, normal tournaments, all of these different things, I would all consider these the same here. That is my view so far. Let me know what you guys think because I am curious. Out of everything I've said, you can comment on what I did ask you to comment on, or kind of your thoughts and feelings on this. What draws you to play Raid Shadow Legends the most? What keeps you logging in? The most important thing that I haven't mentioned yet, which is probably the #1 reason for me, outside of campaign early on, is the community. You guys are great. I enjoy this because of you guys. This isn't like a dead, monotone community where no one cares about anything. Nice video murder. This is cool. I guess that's okay. People are pretty active. They like talking. There's a lot of toxicity. I personally like that. Some people are a bit more fragile and don't like that as much, but that is my style personally. So I do enjoy that and interacting with a lot of viewers in that way. But I think the community overall is great, and I think it's one of the major upsides to this game that a lot of other games don't really have. This is definitely a very tight-knit community. It's not very big. There's a very large player base, but I wouldn't consider the player base the community. The community of active people are extremely small if you look at scale-wise compared to the amount of people who download and play this game to the amount of people who are active in the community. So that is definitely probably the #1 draw for me. And I think for most people, where it kind of gives them a sense of we belong to a group. Guilds, they're not really perfect in this game. Clans, they're not really perfect in this game. There's only so much you can do with your clan. You pretty much need Discord to communicate with your clan. I guess some people do use the in-game chat, but not too many. You can't duel clan mates, you know, all of these good stuff. So give me your feedback. This is an interesting piece I'm doing here. I don't think I've done anything like this before, outside of just talking about the look of the champion. So I do want your feedback. What do you feel about the game? What drawed you to this game? I don't want to know what sucks about the game. I know what sucks about it. You know what sucks about it. Everyone's gonna have something to complain about all the time. We're not here to talk about that. We want to talk about what keeps you going in this game and what were the highlights for you while you progress to wherever you are today. Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, keep those notifications on because I have some pretty big videos coming up that you'll only be able to see on this channel with some pretty interesting information. So until next time, I will see you all in the next video.